Hello City Skylines fan, this is Green Boy here with another transit tutorial here for City Skylines. So today what we're going to look at is what it takes to upgrade one of your bus lines to a tram line, why you'd want to do it, and what's the right or one way to do it. Now we're going to follow some of the principles set forth by transit planners. We're going to go along lines, not loops. And we're also going to look for and try to optimize connections as best we can. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. So today, first off, gosh, look at how much better the video is. Got an external video unit for my laptop, and it has made a world of difference as far as getting rid of jitters, jagged edges, flicks and little glitches and all that sort of thing. So much nicer. Big shout out to Sonic Technologies. Thank you so much for being such an excellent company, and well, purchased one of these, but still excellent product overall. Very happy with it. Thank you very much, guys. Appreciate it. So this is the city of Westmont. This is the city that we built out for our previous transit demo. Now you can see it's built out quite a little bit. We've unlocked the high density, so we've got a high density corridor going up and down Mill Boulevard, up through downtown, and over out towards this new little village called Pioneer Village. So we have expanded a little bit more towards the, what is that? I guess the east here, and then a little bit more towards the mountains. So we've got a little bit of growth going on, some new services. We got a Pioneer Library here. Ice hockey rink, because I love ice hockey. I tell you what, it's the most fun sport ever. And we also have some new egress and ingress points. We have a little roundabout here that will take us in and out of the city. Of course, we have our T intersection over here, as well as a little trumpet that will take everybody coming in off Mill Boulevard and get them onto the highway, the main highway going through there. All right, ice hockey rink. We've seen enough of you. Thank you very much. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and take a look at the trams. So first and foremost, anytime you build a tram network, just like your buses, you're going to need a depot to take care of it. So we're going to go ahead and construct that. We got plenty of money to do it. Bang, right there. And then you're going to need to get those trams going all the way to where your tram network is. Now you can build your trams independent of your road network by using just some vanilla tram tracks, but we're actually going to bring the trams along the road network and replace a couple of bus lines. So we're going to be focusing on these two types of roads here. We have 4-lane road tram tracks, so 2-lane road one way with tram tracks. It only has tram tracks one direction, as you can see right there. And then of course the road that we just got upgraded here is, or well, we haven't upgraded it yet. Let's go ahead and upgrade it. Our 2-lane road, tram tracks in both directions. Now, there's something to be wise about when you're going to put in trams on 2-lane roads like this, is that they can block traffic. You'll see that the tram tracks go right along where the cars do, and there's no room to pass them, especially when you have stops in. So let's go ahead and have a look at that. We're going to go ahead and demonstrate that with a small line here. I'm going to go ahead and grab you, put you over to there. Now I want to highlight once again, this is a vanilla city, so there's no mods, no custom assets, and will leave you eligible for achievements, and it will also make this possible on a console. So you are good to go, console players. You can do this just as well. So we're going to go ahead and get a turnaround loop here. Alright, so we get you, alright, bring you in. That's quite nice. Let's go ahead and do that. And do the same over here. There we are. Make it just a little bigger. There we are. Bring it, and there we are. Well, it's a little tighter, but no big deal. So what I want to highlight to you is how the trams can cause traffic backup. So we're just going to do a quick 2-stop line, speed the game up, and get some trams going here. We'll see 2 trams deploy. Now, as he rounds this little circle and comes back around, bam! You see here, when you build out your stop, you get this nice little platform that goes along with it. So you, in theory, could have more people waiting in line. Hold on, let me get a sip of tea. Preserve my voice. There we are. So, what this means is every time he stops, everyone behind him is going to stop with him. But watch as he comes back around here over to the 4 lane. Now you'll see that there's really 3 lanes here. You got 1, 2 for cars, but then the middle one for your tram. So there's no chance for the tram to block traffic, and there's no chance for the tram to get stuck in traffic. He's got his dedicated, what's called right of way. It's a term used in the transit industry to determine who has the authority or the right to use a particular laneway. So this guy has right of way only in the 4-lane roads. He has no access to 6-lane roads, and he has no special right of way in your 2-lane roads. Tram tracks, of course, plenty of right of way because he's the only one, except for pedestrians, who can go along this. Now you see this has got a little bit of sidewalk here, so you can actually use this as sort of a pedestrian path as well. Kind of a nice little thing there. Let's go ahead and rip this up. We don't need this any longer. So now that we understand the different types of tram tracks, let's go ahead and upgrade one of our existing lines. There's a few things that we're going to want to pay attention to before doing it. First off, we're going to want to take a look and see, well, what's our existing network look like and how is it being utilized? So we're going to go ahead and let that disappear. Let's take a look at our existing bus network. Now in this network, we have 940 passengers per week, 51 tourists per week across 6 bus lines. The most busy line that we have is the 2 Evans, followed by the 4 Beach, and then the 1 Mill, and then the rest are on par, but they're not as utilized. Definitely these first 4 lines carry the lion's share of the ridership, but some of them are trending upwards and downwards. So with these raw passenger counts, there's something that you should be mindful of. That doesn't always tell the whole story, because you notice that the higher ridership also trends with more stops. So you might think, oh, I just put more stops in to get more riders. Not exactly. Like I said, doesn't tell the whole story. The next thing that we're going to want to take a look at is the actual stops themselves to see how many people are waiting. Now we've taken a look along here on the Mill line, the 1 Mill, we see, wow, there's a lot of people waiting on this. And if we take a look at the bus that just served that, we'll see, well, he is full. So he's going to be coming along to all these stops and just rejecting passengers and saying, sorry, take the next bus. Don't you hate it when that happens? You get passed up by the bus that says, bus full, use next bus. Well, that sucks. That's what's happening here. If we go ahead and take a look at the 4 Brook line, we see, well, there's a little bit of that going on. Let's see, well, that bus is full, but if we go up here, well, that bus is not quite full, that bus is not full. There's a few passengers that are walking up. So this one, while it has a high ridership, it's not going to be nearly as high as we think. This one has quite a bit, so this might be a candidate for a tram line in the future. But if we take a look up and down that line, well, not really as much riders, not many as riders, nearly as many as riders we thought. We have a few here that are boarding right over here by the college, and then a few over here, but for the most part it's serving adequately. Now let's take a look at this next. Wow, you can already see it. Lots of riders waiting. Lots of riders waiting. Full buses. Let's see here. Lots of riders waiting. Alright, some riders over here, not as many. That bus is not too bad. That's got quite a bit of capacity. But we can also take a look at that here on the details page. So, taking a look at it, we got full bus, nearly full bus, half full bus, and we have a fair... Oh boy, we got quite a lot of passengers waiting over here. That was that stop that we already looked at. Bunch of passengers over here, desperately trying to get a bus. So we can see, well, this line is pretty heavily utilized. It'll make a good light rail line. So let's go ahead and get these tracks upgraded. We are going to follow the same format of roads, or the same size of roads when we do this upgrade. Just go ahead and get rid of you there. Yep, you go away. Alright. So along the 1, we're going to use the 4-lane road. along the 2. We'll use the 2 lane during the 2 lane section and the 4 lane for the 4 lane section, as well as a couple of 2 lanes just to loop the thing around and turn it around. Now if we take a look, you'll see that there is... that's not what I wanted. There we are. We'll see that there is a stop over here. We're going to cancel this stop here. We're going to move it over here so that way we don't block the traffic. We keep it moving going through here, because that's obviously what we want. We don't want to create a traffic pileup and get tailback all the way onto the highway just because of a tram stop. That's obviously not what we're after. So let the tram flow through here, get right back onto its course, and then go all the way back down. So first things first, let's get these roads upgraded. So we're going to go ahead and turn you off. We're going to go over to our transport section. We'll start with the 4-lane road first, and we're going to go ahead and get this upgraded. So we'll start over here and continue on our way through. Now, one thing I want you to take a look at. See this bus stop here? We have duckouts now, but notice when I go to upgrade it, the duckouts disappear. So when you have additional transit going down these 4-lane roads, buses, you want to be mindful of that, because every time this bus will stop now, it'll block the number 1 lane. The number 2 lane will be free. The number 3 will be for the trams. So something to keep in mind as we do this. So let's go ahead and upgrade the rest of this road. Okay, that's all done. I've also completed this line over here so that the trams can come from the tram depot and actually access the roads. Oh, you know what? We forgot. We're going to have one of the trams come up here. So now that we have our roads upgraded, there's one last thing we need to do before we can start on upgrading any of these. I'm going to start with upgrading the 1 first. But we're going to need to create a little turnaround spot for it. So we're going to use the one-way tram track to create a turnaround over here, and then we're going to do one over at the other end. So, of course, we want to keep these gentle. We want to keep these curves gentle, because the gentler the curves are, the quicker your service will be. So we got that, and let's go ahead and fix the zoning real quick. Just go ahead and de-zone that one tile. Get some. There we are. Get that fixed. We're done with that. Now let's go ahead and go over and upgrade, or not upgrade, but I'm gonna go ahead and create a turnaround over here. Go ahead and remove this road for a sec. We'll probably put that back in. We'll just have to see how this looks. So we'll do that and bring it. Oh, that's fine. Let's do a little bit there. All right. There we are. Not too sharp. Not too shabby. There we go. That road back in. Sorry. Well, you lose your house. No worries. Put you back. Alright. So our roads are upgraded, our turnarounds are created. We have that turnaround loop up here. We're just gonna leave that loop on the road. Got a turnaround loop over here. We're gonna use this loop to turn around the tram line that'll replace the 2. Now I'm gonna straighten out this line over here, so it's instead of going from Evans to Cedric to right, then to Aspen, it'll just continue down Evans until it turns left on Aspen. This will keep it flowing, keep everything flowing and keep everything moving, so we don't have to do it. Because every time you do a turn, it has to slow down and do the turn. So obviously not what we want. We want it to be a little bit faster if we can. So let's go ahead and lay down that tram line first. Tram line number 1. We're going to start it right over here, and we're going to basically echo the stops that we have already. Now I'm going to truncate this section that goes up here and towards this section, just because in order to bring it up here, we'd have to convert a lot of these tracks and potentially block industrial traffic. So instead, we'll have a transfer point here where they can transfer to this bus line and come up around. We'll add a stop over there perhaps, if needed. So that way it'll keep everything moving, which is our goal. We don't want to have any traffic tailbacks or anything like that. So we'll just Go ahead and put that all in, all done, and bam. So we got a transfer point from here to here, and transfer point from here to here, and to here. So we're looking pretty good. Right, now that we have that, let's go ahead and delete the one. We're gonna go ahead and take its name and assign it over. Well, now it's no longer going to northwest. It's basically just going a little past downtown, so we'll just name it downtown. So it's gonna be 1 mil from downtown to Pioneer Village. There we are. Give it the same color. I like doing this after I create the line, so that way you can keep track of what is what. And there we are. Bye-bye. There we are. Okay, so now we have the line replaced. Let's go ahead and unpause the game. We should start to see trams coming out of the depot right now. And this will take some time, so it'll take a little bit of time to build up ridership on the line. So we're going to go ahead and run this for a bit and see what it looks like here in a few minutes. Okay, we've let this game run for a little bit and it's simulated some of the passengers. Let's go ahead and take a look to see, well, we got some riders coming in. All right, looking good so far. 46 riders on that. Now, you see, this is why we upgrade buses to trams, because in the vanilla game, which is what we're playing here, they have 3 times the capacity of buses. So that's fantastic. That's exactly what we need. Let's see what the ridership's doing. So 78. Now you'll notice this is quite a bit lower than the previous number. It's still taking time to build. It's going to take a little bit of time for those sims to realize, oh, the one was replaced by the one tram. So I just need to walk over to a different platform. Takes a little bit of time. But while that's building up, let's go ahead and look at upgrading our next line. That's going to be the 2. So with this, there's something to note with tram lines and 2-lane roads. You cannot have a tram stop and a bus stop at the same location. So here we are, we select our tram stops, can't do it. Over here though, no problem. So what we're going to need to do is we're going to need to make a mental note of where the stops are right now, delete the line first, and then go ahead and put the line back in. So we're going to make a mental note. All right, so it's every other block approximately. Okay, so let's see. And the name is 2 Evans, downtown to Pioneer. I'm going to straighten out that bit there. So it's going to do Aspen Street, Evans, make a little jog over here, up the main drag. We already decided on truncating that stop. Going to have stops there. Okay, and then a turnaround over here. So let's go ahead and start this. First, delete. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Yep, everybody's mad at you. Everybody hates you. No big deal. All right, let's go ahead and get this started, shall we? So, notice we're going to do as many right turns as we can for setting up this line. Spacing approximately every other block, just like we do with buses. This one's a little close, but we'll just leave it as is. It's not terrible, not the end of the world. Not great, but not the end of the world. So we'll go ahead and bring this all the way in. Over here. You know what? Let's go ahead and have that go a little bit differently. So instead of you there, right? Get rid of you. Get rid of you. Get rid of you. We'll have you go there. There we are. Much nicer. All right. And then we have a transfer point there. Stop over the college. Have it circulate around over to here. There we are. We'll have it stop there, over there, and bring it all the way back in. There we have it. All right, it's coming in. Coming in good. Did we get that stop there? Yeah, we did. Okay, there we are. Yeah, so you can see it approximately mirrors what we already have. So that's good. That means that the AI doesn't have too much to learn. It'll have to learn that, oh yeah, I gotta go to a tram now instead. But so now we have transfer points for most of these bus lines. We don't have a transfer point over here, so what I'd like to do is actually move that bus stop over to there. Let's go ahead and do that right now, because that'll give a transfer between the 1, the 2, and whatever this bus line is. This is that's the 5 Forest. So we got transfer from here to here to here, and then from here to here. So we should be good. Alright, let's go ahead and assign this a name. Let's go ahead and, yeah, there we are. So 2 Evans from downtown over to Pioneer Village. Give it the same color as the old line. Now, the reason I do this is so that way we can actually keep track of what's what, because when you're looking at all these lines, it can be quite confusing. Even if you have a whole bunch of loops, it can still be quite confusing. But there, you see, well, you see where everything's going. You know, we can see, okay, this line's kind of orange, but it's also the express line of the 4, which goes over here, even though it's dog legs. So let's go ahead and let this run for a bit. Go ahead and take this view here. We should start to see our trams coming out in just a moment here. So we'll go ahead and let that run. It'll probably start snowing. Plows will come out. There's our first trams. We'll come back to this here in just a few minutes. Alright, we've let this time lapse a little bit, and of course we got a snowstorm coming for Snowfall. But I love these maps, they're so pretty, my god. Alright, let's have a look. Let's see how our ridership is doing. So, first off, let's check the traffic to make sure. So, 86%, okay, that's not too bad. It's not great, but not too bad. Let's see if there's any hot spots. We got a hot spot downtown. But it's still moving, so that's good. We're not in dangerous territory yet. Now, these are all parked cars, boy. Got a little bit of red going on here, and a little bit of backup, but not too much tailback. Little bit going on over here, so it's not too bad. So you'll see there is some additional traffic around the tram stops, and as you can see, yeah, you got some tailback here because of the tram, so that's what we had to be aware of. So these we might want to upgrade these to the 4-lane roads, but we'll do that later. Let's have a look at the ridership. The ridership is 287. Oh my god, that's right. So we're looking really good. So the mill line actually has more than the Evans line now, but this is still a fairly new line. We got 7 vehicles on 2 Evans and 5 on the 1 mill because we eliminated that segment that goes up towards the top. So if we have a look around the lines, let's actually look at the detail view here. There we are. Alright, so if we have a look, we can see, well, we got a few places where we got some passengers waiting, but we have trams enough aplenty to carry them all through. So looking at that looks good. No trams that are totally jammed yet. That's very good. Oh, 312. Boy, that's grown quite a bit, isn't it? Let's have a look at the 1 mill. Alright, so what's the picture going on here? We got 40 out of 90, 21 passengers waiting at his next stop, 90 out of 90, so these passengers, okay, it's still a fair amount of churn going on each one of these. So for the most part, everybody's being picked up, so the capacity has paid off. Now, just like our buses, we can go to increase the number of vehicles if need be, but this is doing quite well. Even though we have some full trams here and there, this one will pick up the passengers. This one doesn't, so we are looking good. So one thing that's fun, trams are not affected by snow. They go faster than the cars when there's a whole ton of snow out, so that's kind of interesting. But as it is, this has been a very successful upgrade. We have houses over here right in the middle. I feel for these guys. Let's see here. Oh, they're doing all right. Doing all right. As you can see, we got people walking down this like a sidewalk. No, walking over to the tram stop. But all in all, this upgrade was very successful. And now I'm out of my tea, so it's time for us to go. Go ahead and hit that like button, comment, and subscribe if this video helped you out. And of course, if you want, go ahead and subscribe. Check out my other videos. Check out the video about what I did to set up the transit network for this initially, as well as how to destroy filling up cemeteries and stuff like that. This is getting pretty full, so we might just go ahead and take care of that. For now, that's all we have for today. Everything's all set. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope you guys have a great day wherever you are. Bye-bye.